recording me, not you. Okay, yes, hello and welcome then to Sustainable Project Management, BE1103. Welcome to the university for all you new people, and congratulations for those of you that made it back after the previous semester. What I'm going to do today is introduce this particular module, introduce this subject, introduce this topic. We're not going to do anything too much, we're just going to look at what I will be talking about for the next few weeks. Okay? As I said, we're recording this for our distance learning colleagues that are out there in the wide world. And yeah, okay, let's get started. So I'll introduce myself. My name's Dr. Alex Hope. I've been here for about 3 years now, teaching on the master's programs, project management, constructive project management, the BIM project management one, and the international stuff that we have. I also teach on the undergraduate programs. I teach construction project managers and architectural technologists. Okay. That's my email address there. I'm located in Pandem Building, which you will have to find at some point. We've recently relocated. We're now a little bit further away than we'd like to be. You can follow me on Twitter if that's your thing, or you can read my blog if you want some extra credit. if you want to get some interesting information. So that's on there too. So contact me however you feel best fit. I thought I'd better show you where Pandem Building is. Has anyone been there yet?
Yeah.
A couple of people, yeah. Essentially, we're here now. This building here, 26. We're over the motorway where that pin is at the top. Okay, with this little bridge here. It's where myself, Robert, Claudio, Michelle, who are the main tutors for your master's course, are located. Okay? So, come and say that.
Near the grandma house.
Sorry?
Other building near the grandma house.
Government house.
Glenmore.
Oh, Glenmore House. Oh, yeah, yeah. Some of the flats look into my office. I don't know if that's worse for me or for the students that are in those flats. Yeah, so yeah, the halls of residence for those of you is here, 11. So yeah, so come and visit us if you feel like it. So about me, nice moody picture of me with a wind turbine. So you probably guessed what my interest is and what I'm about. Just out of interest, for those of you, I'm recording this for the distance learners, but the secret is I always make this available to you too. So there is a video of this lecture afterwards. Doesn't mean you can't turn up, because we do monitor for attendance, and you'll get much more if you're here in person. But for those of you, if I speak a bit too fast, tell me, by the way, or if you want to reiterate what you've learned, the video will be available later on YouTube. Okay? Yep, so my first degree, my background, academically, is in environmental management. So that is how to look after the earth, how to steward the environment in which we live, how to manage our natural resources. Quite a wide-ranging degree, based in geography and based in kind of social science, I guess. So that was my first background. I then went on, I've done several other things, including a PhD in sustainable development. And the PhD I worked on was looking at how to embed sustainability and environmental issues into public sector building contracts, building projects. Okay? So I've got quite a good background in sustainable project management. I've also worked in retail management. I spent 10 years managing a large superstore, a retail superstore in the UK. So my experience isn't just construction, it's also just general management, operations and project and human resources. I've worked as a local government officer, so I've worked private and public, and I have worked and continue to work as a sustainability consultant. I'm actually doing some work next week in London with a project management firm, helping them to embed sustainability into their practice. So hopefully, the kind of things we'll be talking about, I'll be able to give you some real life experience, and hopefully, well, I think I'm the best man for the job, of course. But hopefully, you'll be able to get some good insight from that. Okay, so where should we start? Sustainability. What's in a word? A few years ago, when I first came to the university teaching this, I'd say sustainability, like everybody knew what that meant. And a lot of people were like, well, what is that word? You know, do you mean that sustainability? Well, is that people used to think this whole module was about sustaining projects over time. Okay? How to manage a project that's running for 15, 20, 30 years. It's not about that. And I realised I better try to define the terms a little bit better. So sustainability, there's some other words for it. I'm not going to pronounce these. If you see your language up there, tell me. There's French there, Italian there, German, Nachhaltig, Estidama, which is Arabic, I believe. Norwegian there, Spanish. So this is what I'm talking about. Does everybody recognise one of those words to a degree, yeah? If there's any more that I haven't got up there, please say. So if you've got a translation that I haven't included, tell me. We'll put it up there. So sustainability in this context is talking about... Sorry, what was that one? Sustainability is talking about how to manage projects that think about the sustainability of the world, the earth, the people that we belong in. It's about environmental issues, it's about society, economy, poverty. And we use the term sustainability because that has become the term, if you like, many a European term, but it's become the term to talk about these issues. And sustainable project management is becoming to be a more understandable term in the press, in the literature, and in job applications. If you go and Google sustainable project management, you'll see a few jobs there now, okay? So it's a big issue, it's an important issue. So that's what we need. It's not sustaining projects over time, it's hippie environmental stuff. It's society, it's people. The word sustainability is a little bit overused though. There's a nice little graph here from XCD comics, which basically says this is where we are now with the use of sustainable. The way we talk about it from environmental issues was basically coined back in the 60s, you know, all the hippies there, very stoned, yeah, let's think about the environment. We got to the present day where every time you read something, it's sustainability this, sustainability that, sustainability the other. It's going to get to the point where we actually have sustainability occurring once per page in every document you ever see by 2036. By 2061, the word sustainable would occur in every single sentence that you ever read. By 2019, all sentences are just the word sustainability over and over. Sustainability, sustainability, sustainability. There's almost some truth in that, actually. When we look at the academic literature, there's been some studies done, and apparently there's been a 90% increase in the amount of studies on sustainability in the last 10 years. Okay? It's a hot topic across the world for lots of reasons. A lot of people say we shouldn't use the word sustainability. It's just a word, it doesn't mean anything. But it's as good as any other word, and it's what we'll use. Okay? We could use green project management. Well, that's the Americans use that, so we'll not use it. Okay, so sustainability, it's about sustaining the world in which we live, the people in which live in the world, and the resources in which we use. Okay. So what's this module about? Well, let's break it down. Sustainability is about ethics. It's about society, people, human beings, okay? It's about nature, all of nature in which we depend on, and which exists around us, which gives us the services that we need to breathe, to drink water, the food, the resources we use to build. Eco is another term you'll hear everywhere, of course. Eco this, eco that, which comes from the word ecology, which in English, again, is to do with nature and the world and the ecosystems. So the complex interaction of species, I guess. It's about the environment, of course, the environment in which we live, which we depend. So we're talking about trees, fisheries, the sky, everything. Green is another word you'll use. Hippie is one you use all the time. Yeah, hugging bunnies, hugging trees, all hippie stuff, nature. It's about justice. We'll learn over the next few weeks that sustainability isn't just about maximising use of resources, minimising use of resources, energy, that kind of thing. It's also about people. It's about justice, poverty, equity. It's about having equal opportunity. Social sustainability. It's about energy. One of the big resources that we rely on is energy. Energy use in how we live our daily lives when you pay your bills, and if you're all living in student halls, you're paying a huge amount of that is just going on your energy bills. If you live in your own home, your own apartment, you'll know how expensive it is now to heat or to cool your home. It's about energy. On the other side of the coin, if we take it into a more business and project and maybe engineering kind of focus, it's about quality. Okay? One of the words we had up there, oh, I forget what language, is it the French or the German? It's durability. So sustainability is often seen as synonymous with quality. If a project or a building or something or a product is of a high quality, then potentially we don't have to replace it, we don't have to repair it. There is maybe something to do with sustainability in that, use of resources. It's about value. You guys are all about value as project managers. You're about trying to minimize your use of resources and get maximum value out of every single thing that you do in order to bring your project in on time and on budget. It's about value. It's about economics. Okay, a big part of the environment is economics. The economy cannot exist outside of the environment. Okay, because our economy is built on products and services, and a lot of which rely on the natural environment. It's about resource management, which again, project managers should be good at. It's about marketing. How many times have you gone to buy a new phone, new computer, new house, new car, anything, and it's like, this is the most environmentally friendly car you will buy. This is the most sustainable piece of paper you can buy. Everything's recycled. It's about marketing. Companies don't always do that out of the goodness of their own hearts. They want to market that. Yeah? They want to say, we are the most sustainable company in the world. Therefore, use us. We're good. We look after you. It's about marketing. That comes down to competitive advantage. Why do you choose one product over another, one service over another? Increasingly, companies are seeking to increase their advantage over their competitors by producing products that are more green, shall we say. Look at us, we're greener than this product over here. Use us, we're much better for the environment. It makes you feel fuzzy inside when you buy our product. It's about competitive advantage. It's about corporate social responsibility, your responsibility to people, to being good. Corporations do have a responsibility to people, the people who work for them, within them and around them. And essentially it's about good management. I'll be trying to teach you that being sustainable, being green, thinking about these issues, it's not rocket science, it's just good management. Reducing resources, reducing costs, optimizing efficiency, corporate responsibility, drawing investors in, drawing clients in by demonstrating your good management of projects and of society and the environment. And it's about governance. It's about how we put in place the steps through organisations and through the projects that organisations undertake to be more sustainable. How do we manage that? It's all very well sitting here as a CEO of a company, and we'll talk about this because CEOs over the world now are getting it. Yeah, sustainability is really important. We need to be up there. We need to be doing this. We need to be seen to be green. Increasingly, it's you guys as project managers who have to implement that. Okay? So you guys have got the headache of how to take this beautiful vision this CEO's come up on his yacht in the Mediterranean somewhere and making it actually happen on the ground in a company's products and services and endeavours. It's about governance. How do we deal with that? What's next? This is the most important module you will study. I always say this. Send this to the seminar we had before. I really truly believe that, yeah? My other colleagues might stand up, Claudio or Michelle, and they might say, oh yes, as is the most important. Risk, yes, it's important, of course it is. Governance, yes, that's important. This is the most important module you will study. Why it's 10 credits, I don't know. It should be 20. Two reasons. One, it's personally important. We're talking about sustainability of the environment, of people, of the economy, of human life, of everything. So in one way, it's very important from a personal level. Okay, you might buy into that, you might not. You might not care. We'll debate that, okay, at some point over the next few weeks. But I would argue that it's personally important that we make sure that we use the resources that we're blessed with, I guess, well, and we manage that well. Secondly, for those of you who think that's heavy bullshit, it's professionally important. Okay? Clients are demanding sustainability throughout their projects, throughout their services, throughout their products now, more and more and more. The professional bodies, the Association of Project Management in the UK, the Project Management Institute in the States and globally, the Institute of Project Management, the IPNA, are all now writing sustainability into their bodies of knowledge. So as a professional, if you are affiliated with one of your professional bodies, which hopefully you will be at some point, it is your professional duty to embed sustainability in. And also, as I said, more and more evidence is showing it's how you get a decent job. Okay? Look at all these people around you. You know, we've got what, 80 odd people here. Some more online as well. How many project managers do you think there are in the world going through training and that? There aren't that many that are doing sustainability in project management. I can tell you now, it's a relatively new topic. And so project managers who have a certain green aspect to their practice are becoming more and more highly sought after. And that's not just me blowing smoke up, you know, as we say in the UK. I will show you some examples, I will show you some videos of the professionals actually saying this. The people at the top of their game in project management saying, what we need is people who are sustainable project managers. And that will be you guys. So that's why I think this is the most important module. So if you don't buy into the personal thing, it's going to get you a job. And I'm going to try to prove to you, or embed into you, this notion. Sustainability is free. I'll teach you about it in the future. There's a saying, quality is free. Okay? And that came during the 50s and 60s. We had a big movement in project management and business generally to improve the quality of our services, the quality of our products, as a means to reduce resources. Okay? Less waste equals less cost. Sustainability is the same. There is often a misconception that sustainability is expensive. It costs more to be green. It costs more to build buildings, to create products, to create services that integrate the environment into their life cycle, I guess. I don't believe that. It's just the way that we manage it. Sometimes it's more expensive capitally up front to develop a product which is green, so your upfront resources. But quite often, the savings come along the life cycle of the project and the product, okay? There is a way, I would argue, to embed sustainability into your products, projects, services, which will actually is free and will make you money at the end. It's going to be an interesting debate, that. Okay, the way we're going to run this module for the next 10 weeks or so is kind of in two parts. The first part, I'm going to try to improve your ecological literacy, which is really a posh term for saying getting you up to speed on what the issues are in sustainability and sustainable development. Okay? The second part is I'm going to try to give you some tools and techniques and methods to embed this kind of concepts into your practice. So this isn't just a namby-famby academic thing about, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could all live for the fairies and make green products. This is about why it's important and how to actually do that, okay? I want you to go away from here and this university in general with some tools in your pocket which you can take out into industry and you can hopefully make projects better. And then of course the assessment at the end, we'll talk about that. You're not interested in that, are you? You're just here for the look. The rules of engagement, what we're going to do. Please try to attend lectures promptly, okay, if you can. I have, this lecture is second hour of 4 hours of consecutive teaching for me. So I'm kind of running into this one, running out to another one, and so I need to try to keep things moving at pace. The same with the seminars. Do the reading. I've let you off this week, I've given you nothing. But what I will be doing from going forward, every Monday, maybe Friday, maybe Monday, we'll see, I will release a paper for you to read. Just one, okay? You might have looked at the reading list and nearly passed out because there's 7 pages of it. That is an indicative reading list which aims to give you a feel for the information, and you can dip into that at your leisure. I will give you one each week and say, go away, read this, make some notes, and we will then deal with those issues in the lecture and discuss them in more detail in the seminar, okay? So get your head into the reading, because that's how you get a degree in the UK, especially a master's degree, the reading. There is no book for this course, okay? At university in the UK in general, there is no book for any course, okay? It's not the case that some of you will be used to. Here's the book, read it, learn it, spit me back the facts. It doesn't work like that. It's for you to find the facts for yourself and for you to judge what are appropriate sources. Engage with the group. I love this job. I love doing this job because there are so many nationalities here. There are people who are working, people who are here full time. There's 3, 4 different degrees on this course. when you go into practice, those of you that aren't working at the moment, this is what project management is about. It's about people getting together to deliver something. And it's about increasingly about people all over the world getting together. Different cultures, different nationalities, different specialisms, different ages. This is a good place to kind of hone that skill, if you like, to kind of get to know some people and some new cultures. Be curious. Ask questions of yourselves and ask questions of me. Okay, I haven't got all the answers. I'm going to tell you what I know. I'm going to tell you where to find some information. But I'm going to learn as much from you as you will from me. And I know a lot of people say that, but it's true. It's a relatively new subject, sustainability and project management. So I'm going to kind of use you guys to help educate me, because it's much easier for me to have 80 people reading the literature than to do it all myself. Okay, so ask questions. If you don't agree with something, there is no right or wrong answer. It's all about the debate. This is a new one for this year. Use the module forum. I'm going to see if I can take a quick detour, if it works. So the distance learners, hello distance learners, we have about 15 I think this year. We usually have around about 30. These are guys and girls studying project management all over the world, okay? America, China, the Middle East, wherever, all over the place. And they are doing the same degree as you, but doing it whilst working full-time and in their spare time at home, okay? So very difficult. What we've done in the past, and this is Blackboard, hopefully you've seen it by now, is we've run the course almost in parallel. So you guys have come to the lectures, the other guys have had a separate site where they've done their own thing. What I want to try and do this year is integrate you both, okay? The reason being, more and more projects are now dispersed globally, dispersed virtually. It's very rare you'll be working on a major project where everyone is in the same place. You'll be liaising with people from all over the world via Skype, via email, via YouTube, via whatever. So I decided this year to have the forum, which has always only been for distance learners, open to everyone. So this is the Blackboard site for this particular module. Okay? You'll become more familiar with this in your own time. Have a look at the Blackboard sites. I will put all the material on here that we teach. There's your reading list, there's a schedule. I'll put all my lectures up on here, so this Prezi, which you're watching now, is up there, okay? And it will be up there prior to the lecture, so if you want to look at it first, you can. Any other information will all be freely available to you. The module forum, discussion board. It's just like any other discussion board, which I'm sure you all talked on Facebook and that kind of thing before. What I've done for the first time is I've said to people to introduce themselves. And do you get an email when I do this, by the way? Okay, cool. Why would you introduce yourself? I want to know where people are in the world, where they're studying. I want to mix it up this year. I don't want just 12 or 15 distance learners talking amongst themselves. You guys are here, why not talk to them? And these guys are useful, because one of the things you will be doing is trying to relate this academic stuff to practice. These guys are practicing as we speak. Some of them are working on some major projects across the world, okay? These guys get their experience, use them, talk to them, understand how it actually works in the real world, if you like. So we had a few people that have already started to do this. So the distance learners, we've had about 5 or 6 people that have just started to introduce themselves. Hi, I'm from Abu Dhabi. I'm building a £30 million project in Abu Dhabi, for instance. Go on there, introduce yourselves, have a chat. This is a place for you to debate amongst yourselves, okay? If you need any help, I look at this as well, okay? So if you're floundering somewhere, oh, I need some help, I can't get in contact with anybody else, whack it on here, okay? And we'll do it together. Guy here from the Central Bank of Nigeria, look. Another person here from Abu Dhabi, living in Dubai, distance learning student in the UK, civil servant. So there'll be people on here which you can relate to, I guess. And each week I'll post some questions for you, similar to what we'll do in the seminar. And please, use it. Write some things on there, get to know people. It's an experiment. We'll see if we can integrate this course and run it synchronously online and on campus. Okay. Let's move on. This is the kind of learning cycle that I try to do with you guys. I will give you something to read, watch or listen. Probably on a Friday or Monday I'll send something out, an announcement saying, this week's reading is this, or have a look at this quick YouTube video. In the seminars, we'll reflect on that, okay? So what did you feel about that reading? What do you think about that point of view that came forward? We'll do some work on that kind of thing. We'll then try to connect it to practice. So we might be looking at why corporate social responsibility is important for Nike nowadays. Yeah. How does that connect to project management? What is your relationship with that? And then we'll try and model and do. So we'll do a bit of, okay, so we've understood corporate social responsibility is important. We've understood how it can affect on projects. So how do I manage that in the project? What do I do? Help. What tools can I use? So we'll try to keep this cycle going, where I give you some academic ideas, some opinions, some thoughts, and then some actual practical experience. Okay, any questions so far? What's the assessment? Sorry?
Is there any means you can adjust the airflow there? Kind of.
Is it getting cold now? Yeah. See, one of the difficulties we have with managing a diverse group of students from all over the world is the UK guys want it at 16 degrees. Those of you that come from slightly warmer climates want it at 30. We'll manage that out. It's going to get too hot now. Okay, we'll go through the lecture seminars for the next 10 weeks, okay? What we're going to be learning about, when's the assignment coming, all that important stuff. So this is today, introduction to the module, what is sustainability, the rules of engagement, what I expect from you. And you're master's students, so you should know by now, the more you put in, the more you'll get out. Some of you are only here for 3 months, Chalmers guys, steady guys, some of you are here for a year. Get what you can out of us while you're here, okay? Rules of engagement, lecture schedule. In the seminar, which follows this over the next couple of days, we're going to be looking at what does this mean to you. I want to know what your views are. Do you think this is important, or do you think it's just rubbish? Do you think it's responsibility of a project manager or not? We're going to debate that, okay? And I'll tell you some views from practice. Next week, we're going to start our ecological literacy. We're going to look at global environmental issues. We're going to talk a bit about climate change, okay? We're going to look at what that is and why it's important, and try maybe, some of you will know a lot about this, some of you will know nothing. We'll try and debunk some of the myths that you might have heard in the press, and on Wikipedia, and climateskeptics.org, and various other sites like that. We'll talk about resource depletion. By that I mean using fossil fuels, the use of plastics from oil, the use of aggregate, the use of tin in iPhones. We'll look at resource use and why that's important. We'll look at poverty and inequality across the world, okay? And we're very lucky to have such a wide range of people from developed, developing, emerging economies, and we'll learn from each other about what the issues are in each place. And more importantly, why you should care as a project manager, yeah? You're not just there to make money, there's other reasons why you're there, we'll talk about that. And we'll discuss out, we'll do a bit of research on what the implications of climate change are for your own region, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Africa, India, wherever you are. What's it mean for your region? What do we think the impacts will be? And again, what's your relationship to that as a PM? Week 3, we'll touch on sustainable development. So we'll be talking about, okay, we've understood that there are there's a few big issues in the world that maybe, we should be worried about. So how do we deal with that? And sustainable development as a model, as a response, as a way that the international community is thinking about trying to get to grips with some of the issues that we face as human beings, I guess. So we'll look at the concept of sustainable development, the models that are available, and we'll critique it again. I'm not here to tell you that sustainability is the most important thing, sustainable development is the best thing in the world. I'm here to give you the thinking on this, and it's for you to make your own mind up, okay? So we'll critique it. Again, is it just some notion that's been dreamt up by the European Union in the 1980s and imposed on other countries? Okay, we'll be debating that. And we're going to do some carbon footprinting. We're going to look at your carbon footprints. How much carbon do you use when you go about your daily lives, okay? We'll be looking at that. Not to kind of say, hey, you do lots of flights, you're really bad, you're going to destroy the world. Hey, you're great, you just ride your bike and eat leaves. We'll be doing it to try and understand the differences in nations and nationalities and cultures and people, and why it's such a difficult thing to get to grips with. Carbon footprinting in organisations as well. You'll get the assessment, week 3. The reason we get it week 3 is some of our international colleagues may still be arriving. Lots of problems with visas. Those of you that come from overseas, UK Borders Agency, it's a lovely organisation. So they'll be coming late, so we'll have it then. It's a 3,000 word academic essay. Yes, see? Yes! There's 2 reasons for doing this work. Most of what you do will be, over the course of this degree, will be reports, for instance. because that's what you would do in the field as a project manager. You'll write reports and things like that. However, at some point you've got to write a thesis, an academic thesis. What do you think that is? It's basically a nearly 20,000 word academic essay. Okay? So we'll use this as a way to get across, for me to understand that you know the key points that we've taught, but also as a way to kind of get you skilled in writing academic essays to a UK standard. Okay? So some of you may have done it in the past, but it's different depending on where you are in the world. So we'll do that together. We'll learn how to write an essay. So when you do your thesis, it'll all be good. Hopefully. So we'll give that out 10th of October in a couple of weeks' time.
And is that decided this seminar that was in for Christmas? All that
Yes, good point. The seminar will be done and dusted before Christmas. Okay? So you can do it, you can write it, you can hand it in, you can fly home and enjoy your Christmas without having to try to write an essay while you're partying on Christmas Eve, that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, be handed in good time for those of you who have got to get flights.
Is that when the tutorials finish as well on the main for December?
We'll get to that, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's 10 seminars for this, so it finishes around about the second week of December. We're going to move on after that. So we looked at the issues, we looked at sustainable development as a response. We'll look at sustainability in business. As I said, sustainable project management as a concept is relatively new, last 5 years or so. But sustainable business, sustainability in organisations is not new, okay? We've been through that. We've tried to find ways to be more ecologically friendly in the way we do business as a society. And a lot of project management, you'll find out over the next year or so, whatever it is about business, okay? I like to think of project management as the business of doing business. The business exists for a strategic objective, it's ongoing, its objectives are ongoing, but every time it launches a product, a service, every time it restructures, every time it recruits, every time it relocates, that's a project, a discrete project to do that. So that's why I think you guys are the best guys to teach, because you're the guys who get things done on the ground, okay? It's all very well these CEOs sitting there coming up with strategy, you guys implement it. So you guys are important, increasingly so. So we'll look at what the impacts of business are on the environment and the relationships. Denial to breakthrough, the dirty days prior to the 1950s, 60s, when business just rolled on regardless, stamping on the world if you like, to all of a sudden realising that this isn't sustainable. Not just in ecological terms, in actual business terms. Hang on a minute, we're using all our resources. We're in the business of making plastic products, there's not much oil left. Hang on a minute, should we maybe do something else instead? So a lot of the reasons for why we've gone through this kind of notion now to sustainable business, or why companies are falling over themselves to tell you that they're sustainable, okay? That their water comes from a sustainable source, their wood comes from a sustainable source, etc. And we'll look at for business for sustainable development. Is business bad? Are we destroying the environment we live in by doing these things? Or is business the answer? Okay? As the driver of the economy, perhaps business is the answer to some of these problems. Governments don't have much money nowadays, or the problems that we've been in, UK government in particular. So could business maybe step up? Some businesses, Apple for instance, Apple computers, have a bigger economy than many countries. So perhaps they should be responsible, perhaps they have a part to play. And we'll be looking at some of the drivers. So what's driving businesses to become sustainable and project managers to become sustainable? Then we're going to start getting down to the nitty-gritty. We'll look at sustainable project management. And I like to argue that sustainable project management is different. It's a new concept. It's not project management for sustainability. It's not project management with sustainability. It's a discrete way of working. And I'm going to argue that we need a new paradigm in project management. We need to start rethinking the way that we define projects. And we'll do that there. So we'll look at traditional project management. What is this now? The evolution of project management, how we are moving more towards this kind of field, and sustainable project management in general. And again, I've got some nice videos to show you from some very, very important practitioners high up in their field who are saying sustainable project manager is the future of the industry. That's a driver for you. Week 6, we're going to move on to planning and delivering. Okay, so hopefully, maybe not, by then I've got you a little bit bought into the concept. You'll all start thinking, yeah, this is good, okay, I'm going to go out and buy an electric car tomorrow and start drinking fair trade water. Maybe not. But let's say we start to agree that it's an important thing to do. How do we actually deliver that through projects? So we'll talk about risk management, which you'll be doing with Claudia for the next 3 months or so. How does sustainability go into risk management? I've alluded to one already. What's the risk of running out of our raw materials that we make our products for? Okay? So risk management, sustainability, very important. Governance, how to embed sustainability and how it is driven through organisations, from an organisation's mission to their operations on the ground. And look at how we can develop a business plan around this. Week 6 we'll have an assessment workshop in the seminar. So we'll discuss, you'll have a chance to start on your essay, and we'll do some work around, how to reference properly in the correct format and all the rest of it. So any issues you've got with writing essays, we'll deal with it there, so you're not alone. Week 7, we're moving on very fast now to culture and accountability. Who is responsible for sustainability? Are project managers responsible? There's a viewpoint that they're not. Some project managers will tell you, we just do what the client asks us. The client says, build that road there, we'll just do that. Can project managers influence that? Should they influence that? What is a sustainable project anyway? Who's accountable? And how do you create a culture? There was a lot of work done in the 50s and 60s about creating a culture of quality. How is everything we do to be the best quality? Well, you can also create a culture of sustainability. How do we embed that so deep into our project management team that everything we do, people are starting to think about, okay, well, maybe we should do that instead, or do that. How do we build that culture? And we'll work in the seminars on that as well. We'll look at measuring and assessing. Okay, so maybe you've managed to get sustainability into your business plan, you're thinking about it, you're building a sustainable service or product. How do we then actually make sure that's what we're doing? How can we go back and say, well, are we achieving what we set out to achieve? So we'll look at accounting for sustainability, a bit of money there, a bit of how can we cost this out? How can we make the case financially? Because at the end of the day, they're the guys that hold the purse strings on the project. Assessment tools and indicators, how to report this. If you've done some very good work in sustainability in your project, you want to tell the world, okay? Because it's marketable, it's gold. How do you do that? And we'll start looking at some case studies. We'll look at a case study of a large organisation in the UK, public organisation, procuring housing that is sustainable for people, basically. It's about trying to reduce energy use. We'll look at how we embedded sustainability into that project. We'll look at monitoring and reporting, what your legal obligations are. How do you report things like carbon dioxide uses on a project? Because increasingly you have to now, okay? How do you report water use? How do you manage that? Corporate social responsibility. Do corporations have a responsibility to people? I would say so. We're people. I want the organisations that I work with and buy things from to think about my well-being. Maybe you do too. And we'll look at reporting methods, and we'll do another case study. Probably Puma. Maybe I'll change my mind, I'm not sure. So Puma, the company, sportswear company, gone through a bit of a revolution in the last 10 years, saw the light, if you like, and are now developing products that they feel are very ecologically sound. And they're doing that because they see that as giving them a unique competitive advantage over the other companies. Not because they're a bunch of hippies, but because they feel it's a very, very good business thing to do. And then finally, we'll tie it all together at the end, okay? So when you submit your essay, we'll tie it together. We'll look at everything we've learned in the last 10 weeks, and we'll try to see if we can really start to define a sustainable project. So we'll go a little bit over the refresh, have some conclusions. What are the implications for the profession? And we'll talk about a case study, 2012 Olympics, the most sustainable games ever, whatever that means. And how did they try to manage sustainability in their business? For those of you that are not construction, this isn't all about construction, okay? You think Olympics is all about buildings. It's not, it's about infrastructure, it's about people, it's about service, it's about marketing, okay? So the examples are from all over the world, from all over disciplines. And then that's it. No lecture, complete the assessment. You can do the schedule is on Blackboard. Week after week 10, you'll be handing in your assessments. So the 5th of December is your red letter day. The assessments are handed in online. You can hand it in wherever you are. You don't have to come and turn it up in person. But we'll go over that in more detail at the time. So as I said, done and dusted before you go off on your holidays. Okay, that's all I was going to get through today. Are there any questions?
Well, with the date 10th October we had handouts.
Sorry?
We had a day handout.
That's when I'll be giving you your assessment brief.
Okay, that's when we get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you submit on the 5th.
So for part-time as well, yeah?
Yep, same for part-time as well. Okay, thanks guys. Well, I'll see you in the seminars, okay? And we'll go through more detail then. Okay, thank you.